Hey, everybody. Our election in the United States happened last week. And one of the surprises that I had from the election was, at least for me, was surprising for me, was the fact is that younger men overwhelmingly swung towards the conservative vote, towards the Republican vote. And that was a shock to a lot of people. And there's been a lot of soul searching, a lot of debating, a lot of arguing, even a lot of accusations since that happened, especially from liberal women, because they are basically calling those young men misogynistic, racist, whatever other thing you want to throw on there. And it made sense because this generation coming up, I have two boys, one that voted for the first time, one that's really close to voting, and I was shocked. They were really engrossed in this election. They cared deeply who won, and I think it's a reaction because for the last decade or so, young men have just been beat up. They're told that they're worthless. They're told that they need to be less masculine. They're told that they all these different things that they're being told, and you're starting to see a backlash from it because the fact is that so many men, I know so many men in their 30s who have retreated to their proverbial parents' basement, even if they don't have a basement, but they've retreated there and they've just filled their life with video games and podcasts and they've just escaped because college campuses are predominantly female. The college that my daughter goes to is 70% female. And it's, and she goes to a conservative school, but there's a lot of liberal schools out there that make men feel like they're inferior. That they don't measure up, and a lot of it is women who are grasping for power. They want to move men out of the way, and they're reacting obviously to their scars and their hurts from their past, but they're projecting that upon the next generations. And so we have a whole generation of men who are confused about what it means to be a man. And this podcast is not about what is a man, but it's really a podcast about me giving life lessons for my sons and guys like my sons who are entering into an adult world, not only just a lot of uncertainty, but a lot of confusion. And I want to give some life lessons on how to um, uh, adequately navigate the path that is before them. Because first of all, I don't want you to give up. I don't want you to think that, oh, it's everything's against you. It's not even worth going after anymore. And I'll just give up right now because I think that's what a lot of the millennial men did. And they're kind of run by overbearing wives, or they're just single guys who are afraid to even talk to a woman or engage with people, and they've just kind of checked out. And we can't have that. I don't want that for my boys, or I know there's a lot of parents that don't want that for their boys. So what do we have to do? Well, I think the first thing is to tell young men, hey, you have purpose. You were created for something. God uniquely created you, and He's given you a purpose in life. And you don't need to know that purpose right now. That path doesn't need to be perfectly laid out for you right now. It's a step-by-step process that you need to take. But the key is you have to take it. It's not going to be handed to you. Nobody's just going to give it to you. You have to work for it. And it's not so much about the destination, about where you're going to finish, but it's actually about the journey, about the process along the way, and what you're going to discover. Because the fact is that one thing I knew, and it took me a long time to graduate, but one thing I knew is I wanted to graduate from college, and I'm glad I did. But I was almost 25 when I graduated from college, and I was 24 and turned 25 that summer, and that's a long time. I spent like 5 years at a junior college, off and on kind of stuff, and then when I finally got serious, it went quickly. But I knew I wanted to go to college. But after that, I had no idea, and God led me into the ministry, and He's led me the whole way. And I don't have formal training for ministry, but God is providing. God has blessed that. But what I've loved is I've loved the journey. Very very at the very beginning of that journey after college, God introduced me to my wife, and I got a chance to get to know her. We dated for almost 3 years before we got married, and got to learn about her in every season. And we, prepared as she finished school. We prepared for what our future was going to be like. And then we got married, and we waited several years before we had children, and we just learned to do ministry, and we went to several different places, and God totally blessed us. And she started her teaching career, and we just did we just kind of trusted the Lord. And then one of the greatest blessings is that God, brought us children. And I never thought much about being a parent. I didn't have a great relationship with my dad, and my mom had already passed away by the time we had gotten married. And so I didn't really put a lot of thought into parenting. In fact, I was probably pretty afraid of being a parent. And you know what? It has been one of the greatest joys along this journey, one of the greatest discoveries. And I just love being a dad to my children. I love being the husband to my wife. And that's something I didn't expect. I didn't know what was, I was hoping to get married, but that was it. And along that process, we bought a house. We bought actually several houses. I never thought being in ministry that I'd be able to afford to own a house. And we've actually owned several houses over the years. And, it's just taking that journey and not afraid to get it up every day and taking the next step that you have and learning how to trust God in that whole process. And the thing is, I want you guys to understand is that your life matters. You have purpose. And the fact is if you learn how to trust the Lord, you're going to see him provide for you. And, obviously we've heard about the passage in Jeremiah where he says, I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, not for you not to fail. And, and that's mainly meant towards Israel. But I believe that God truly does. He has created you with a purpose in mind. And it's your job to discover that purpose and discover everything else along the way. But the thing is that you can't give up, and you have to try. And you can't expect for things to be exactly for you like they are for your parents right now, because I can tell you right now, they weren't that way for your parents when they started. And if they were, then things were handed for them, and there's a lot of challenges with that as well. You don't want things handed to you. You want to be able to work for things. You want to be able to earn things. You want to learn the value of what you've worked for when you purchase things, and you want to put that effort into it. And it's hard work, and it's not always fun, but there's a great joy from that. But yet, if we give up, if we don't think that life works the way it used to, and we don't put the effort in, and even have a desire. God puts those desires in us. We have to be willing to purchase it. We have to be able to pursue it, and you have to be able to put the work in for that. And listen, it's different for everybody. Some people, they're outdoor people. They like to work with their hands. Other people, I've worked at a desk for 30 years. I've sat in a chair, worked on a computer for 30 years. Okay. I like to be outdoors, but it's not my initial thing. I'm not very adept with working with my hands, but that doesn't make me any less of a man than one who can't. The thing is that being a biblical man, being a man of God, is literally is being faithful in what God has given you to do, and stepping up to the responsibilities, and working through those. That's what it means to be a biblical man. It's to put your faith in him, to trust him along the way, and allow him to use you. And so these podcasts, I'm hoping to do multiple of them. Hopefully this will be a recurring series. Is going to be all about things like what it means to be that man, what it means to enter into manhood, what it means to take those steps. And I think that it's going to be a discovery for me as I kind of think through the issues that God's kind of flooding me with ideas of things that I would like to teach my boys. And hopefully they'll apply to you. If they don't, that's fine. It's just something I put on YouTube or on a podcast, and we'll see what goes from there. But I just want to challenge you guys. And this can go for girls, but I'm specifically talking to my boys because they're so close to adulthood and getting out of school and kind of heading to their next things. Is that the greatest adventure is the one that we take when we don't know what is certain in front of us. And that's when we discover things. That's when we realize things about ourselves. That's when we all of a sudden realize that, hey, things weren't the way that we thought they were going to be. But if we let fear beat us down, if we let fear prevent us from going forward, if we just want to be comfortable, you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out. And so if you're a young man, even if you're a man in your 50s and you've never really gone, if you're willing to take the step and go forward, there's a great adventure. There's a great journey in front of you. And I'm just going to challenge you over these podcasts to take that journey, to take that challenge, and to move forward, because it's a wild ride. And if you're willing to trust God in it, you'll see Him provide in ways that will absolutely blow your mind. So, anyways, hopefully you'll join with you with this journey. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.